This video is all about how to make meal times positive with teenagers, and I have got 10 cracking ways to improve your meal times. Hi, I'm Carrie Davis-Munro, single mum of 3 teenagers, and I have over 20 years experience in the field of well-being, physical education, food and nutrition. I'm hoping that I'm not the only one, but as they get older, we all have trouble getting our teens out of the bedroom and into the communal spaces and into the kitchen. I can't tell you sometimes how many times I have to call my son to get down for dinner. Luckily, I have an app on my phone, which I literally just switch off, and then I hear little footsteps down the stairs. But as they get older, the schedules of all the children get crazier. So they're out the house later, which means that the usual family time of dinner gets completely disrupted. So in my house, I have my daughter dancing, both boys playing football, one boy coming back late from a work experience, and it gets rarer and rarer that we are all together. So our dinner times have got later to accommodate this. And if possible, I like us to all eat together and for it to be a positive experience. Food should be a positive, nurturing experience, and particularly when you've made something that is delicious. It's an act of love. It's the universal thing that we all do the world over. So either I'm working or doing lifts, or one of the other children aren't around. So these are my top 10 tips. Number 1, where possible, try to make sure that at least one night a week, and as many as possible, you're going to try and eat together and have that family experience. So it's a family affair and you get to spend positive time around really good food. The benefits are immense. Eat round a table or similar, where you're all able to talk, see one another, and you're able to interact. Don't sit in front of the TV. Don't have somebody sitting off in one room or 2 of you are in another, if you can help it. And make it an event, not a TV dinner where somebody is eating on their lap. We don't digest properly when we're sat over and hunched. We digest when we're upright, sat at the right place. Involve your whole family in the planning process, so that they've been part of choosing the meals that you're going to have. Maybe they've been part of cooking with you. They've certainly been part of nipping to the shops to buy extra ingredients that you might need as a top-up. They've helped you get the plates. They've helped get the cutlery. Maybe they all have a job. One's responsible for the water, one's responsible for the cutlery. But make sure that everybody's taking responsibility to put a really good meal on the table. Cooking together where possible, as I say, will enhance that experience, and it will enhance them taking ownership over what they're doing. It goes without saying, make sure that the food is totally delicious, but it is also nutritious, and that's what you can talk about. If you are changing your food habits and you're changing it up, which is what you are doing, you're having an upgrade. That's basically what you're doing. Talk about why. Talk about what ingredients you've got, how that's made you feel. Have you got more energy? You know, how does that taste with that? What might I like a bit more of? What's not quite hitting the mark? Or what tastes great? Get the conversation going, because you want to make this sustainable. Turn your TV off. Have it a time that you can talk to each other. You so rarely see your teenagers or spend really good quality time with them, because they are on their phones or they're with their friends more than they're with you. And that's their choice most of the time. And on that point, try and leave their phones in another room, just for the time that you're eating. Otherwise, you'll be having a conversation and they'll be cutting away to doing a Snapchat picture or answering somebody. So you can tell that you haven't got their concentration. They're not really part of what you're doing. And nothing makes me angrier than me standing cooking a really nice meal and then having somebody on a phone. So put it in another room. You don't even have to have the conversation then. 9, consciously use that time to connect with each other. So it might be that it is the last and the first time that day that you have had a chance to talk to them. So ask about their day. Use it for a forum to support one another. Something that we've done in our family for years with the children, and something which they still ask me to do, sometimes I will forget, is something called glad, sad and mad, and we take it in turns, and we start with the glad. We always start with the good and the positive, and we tell each other something positive about our day. And sometimes the children will say, oh, I've had a rubbish day, I haven't got anything positive. And then the other one will say, oh, hold on, I saw you around school and you were having a really good time with your mate. You didn't look down then. It's like, oh yeah, that was all, oh yeah, that was all right. So it's about drawing out the positive. And we can all find positives in our lives, even if we're feeling really down. So then we then go to something a bit mad, something a bit crazy that happened in the day that we didn't expect. And once we've talked about all those things, and bearing in mind there's 4 of us, sometimes 5 of us, we don't really have time for the sad. And that's the way I like it. We don't focus on the sad. But we always say, come on, let's do glad, mad and sad. It's just a way of sharing, and I would encourage you to share over good food. And then point 10, never leave the room as an individual until the last plate has been put away, or the tabletops have been cleaned, or anything picked up off the floor. Do not make sure, as mum, that you are there and they've all had a great meal and then they've pinged back over to their phones and that they're off talking to their friends, and you're starting thinking, because actually then you're going to get really fed up, and it won't be sustainable for you either. Because if you're disgruntled and angry all the time and frustrated, then you're not going to want to keep this going either. So keep communicating. This is a family thing. We're doing this for the benefit of all of us. I'm putting my own oxygen mask on as well as yours, and nobody leaves until we've all cleared up. That's fair. You've all had a great meal. We're all going to clear up. I hope those tips are going to be really useful for you, and that you can use some of them to get back a positive mealtime with your teens. If you've enjoyed it, then please say so in the comments. Please hit subscribe, and I will see you in another video soon.